Hello, everyone. How are we doing today? Good. I just want to first off say that it is pretty true I cannot see anybody up here. It's fantastic. I want to start off by introducing myself. My name is Paul Loqui, and I'm a teacher over at Herget. I've been teaching since 2007. Man, I can't believe it's been 10 years already. Boy, am I getting old. But in that time, my life has changed so much. I've managed to meet the love of my life, who decided that she wanted to marry me, which made me question her sanity. And then she decided that she wanted to have kids with me. Then I knew she was nuts. But we have 3 beautiful children who are my heart. Well, enough about me. I want to start off by asking you guys a question. When was the last time that you guys told a lie? Think about it. It doesn't matter the color or the size of the lie, okay? Just think, it could have been that person that might have asked you your age. Or it was that conversation that you had with your spouse about how dinner was last night. Or the dreaded question, how does this outfit make me look? That one's primarily for the men in the audience. By chance, you've probably already told a couple lies today. I know I've told 10. I know this because I'm a parent of twin toddlers. And I believe I actually told one of them I'd get them a pony if they were good for mom today. This presentation isn't about lying as much as it is about being truthful. By being true to our students, it allows us to be able to push them past the point that they even realize is possible, and at the same time, it allows us to be true to ourselves. We all got in this profession because we loved working with kids and wanted to make a difference in their lives. Each one of us has taken a different path to get to this moment, and we all have a story to share. So why don't we share it? Sharing that part of us allows us to open doors and to influence our students, and ultimately that influence allows us to be able to leave a mark on their lives. Growing up, I wasn't your prototypical student that loved school. We lived in Chicago, and every year we moved. We were essentially the military family, minus the military aspect. So every year, new school, new friends, and a new teacher, along with a new bad attitude. Then came Mr. Miller, my 4th grade teacher in McCormick Elementary in the Little Village neighborhood. Me and Mr. Miller just clicked. He had done something that my past teachers hadn't done, and that was take the time to get to know me. Mr. Miller took the time to get to know his students. And at the same time, he took a risk of letting them get to know him. He was able to look past my bad attitude and get to know me for who I was. He was honest, he was real, and he was the truth. I learned a lot that year. I found out that I was 2 grades above my academics. I learned I had a love for the arts, and I learned a lifelong lesson of what type of teacher I wanted to be. I admired Mr. Miller's realness and wanted to emulate that in my classroom. So when I go into my classroom, I want to be that truth and that honesty with my kids. I think by allowing myself to be vulnerable, it allows me to make a deeper connection with my students. Although I teach LA and social studies, I feel like I ultimately hope to make them be better people. Being honest and truthful with our students is one thing, but being honest with ourselves is a much more difficult task. My first teaching gig was in a special ed cooperative in Chicago Heights, Illinois. I loved my job. I worked with such a diverse population of students, and I felt at home. I could be myself, and I was accepted. It was a really good feeling. But after 6 years, I left that job and started to venture into a public school setting in the suburbs. Let me just tell you, the grass is not always greener. It was a culture shock, to say the least. As I tried to adapt and keep true to who I was as an individual, I just didn't feel like I did when I was at my old school. At first, I tried lying to myself and telling myself that it was just a transitional period and that this was going to get better. But I couldn't get past that nagging feeling in the pit of my stomach. Although I learned a lot that year, I believe it made me a better teacher, and I also knew that I needed to find a new home. Somewhere I could be me again, and here I am. 3 years ago, I was blessed to find a part-time position at Herget that led to a full-time position. This district and Herget was the home that I was looking for, a place where I can be true to my students and ultimately to myself. Realize, realize, realize. There is nothing more real than the eyes of a child. So when your students come back into your classroom tomorrow, I want you to think of that one person that was in your life that was the most real and become that truth. Thank you for your time.